Welcome to the Bears on Tap Offensive Line Film Room, bringing you all 22 views and breakdowns on the Chicago Bears offensive line. Presented by Quentin Q. Crisco and the one and only Ron Luce.
And welcome back to another episode of Bears on Tap, and specifically the Chicago Bears offensive line show, where tonight we are doing something very specific. We are grading the tape from Ozzy Trapilo. And I just realized, actually, that the tape that I have up is Darnell Wright specific tape. I accidentally saved over it, but I have a backup. So
I mean, we can just pivot really quick and just grade Darnell's game instead.
So if you will just give me a moment here, I just gotta play with this view so that you guys can see it better. As you can see, it went from 1.5 minutes to 6 minutes of tape, so that's a big difference.
Huge difference.
And there we go. Now we're back.
Bang.
Back in it. And you know, Ron, they changed this Twitter messages, and right now I was trying to share this to our on tap group, and it's just not an option to share it to. So I'm going to take a moment here on my phone.
I already did it. We're good. We're good. I got you.
Okay, thank you so much. Because on my computer, it just disappeared. It wasn't there. Thanks a lot, Elon. But let's get into it. We are just going to grade Ozzy Trapilo in this game tonight. Like that was our idea here. I started doing a cut up. I was like, you know what? I think it would be more interesting if we just looked at Trapilo up against Myles Garrett in this game and said, like, made a distinction of how did he do, you know, and make that claim tonight.
I love it, dude. You mentioned this idea when we were prepping this earlier this week, and I think it's a great idea because we talked a little bit about it on some of the previous shows where, you know, Micah Parsons was being matched up against Jonah Jackson. And, you know, we really haven't seen one elite rusher go against Trapilo yet. You know, even with Pittsburgh, Watt was against Darnell Wright for majority of the game. So it's really cool that, like, all things considered, sure, Garrett got 2 sacks, but, like, I don't think Ozzy Trapilo had a bad day. And excited to actually grade it with you.
So I did already grade him. I'm sure our numbers will come out slightly different as I learn a thing or two from you, Mr. Luce. But my grade for him that I had was like slightly below average, which against Myles Garrett for a rookie left tackle, I will take, you know.
Yeah.
But let's just jump in here because we got quite a few plays to get through, and we got a run play here, and so he's not actually against Myles Garrett. We see Trapilo, who, if you're not familiar, left tackle. Are we talking about the left tackle, number 75, all game throughout this? He is spiking down to help Joe Thuney on the defensive tackle here, and he actually, this is a great display of his power that we've talked about some in the past, but he tosses this guy all the way across the formation. I think that's Mason Graham out of Michigan, and he just it probably gives him too much juice considering that the play ends up going back that way. And that's actually just because, I'm sorry, this is a pass, but still gives him too much juice, pushes him into the boot here. I'm not knocking him on it because he did enough to like get Mason Graham off balance and eventually fall. And he really just crushed him, but like, it's not ideal. Like, it's a good and bad rep in my mind.
David, I'll tell you what, like, this is stuff you don't necessarily prepare for, but you'll take this, man.
Yeah.
Because even though Graham is able to kind of track the play, he's so discombobulated from just being thrown that he makes a poor effort here trying to get to Caleb, right? Takes kind of an awkward angle. Some of that's the Caleb effect, of course.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think he actually recovered. Like, I think he's stumbling through all of this and eventually his legs just give out. But my thought process on it was it prevents Caleb from hitting the throw on time.
Yeah.
Which, again, I didn't knock him for this rep. I gave him it's a fine rep in my mind, but it was more like a good and a above average and below average equals out to a fine rep.
I'll tell you what, man, I'll take that every single day of the week. I'd rather a guy be too physical and it like just oddly not work out
Yeah.
than be under, lacking physicality and get severely beat on something. So I think I love the display of power, if nothing else. I think that should excite people because, I think, most of the premier left tackles, left tackle became such a unique position because of Lawrence Taylor, and they had to be the best athletes, and the Trent Williams and the Joe Thomas, and right, like we can think through a plethora of great left tackles. Now the tackle position in general have to be both well-rounded guys. Your prototypical right tackle doesn't exist anymore in the NFL, in my opinion, and they do, but they're very few and far between. Like the good teams have essentially two guys that probably could play left tackle when it's all said.
Yeah.
So I get excited seeing that because when you've got two powerful tackles, like this is the Ben Johnson identity. You can see why they burned a second round pick on Ozzy Trapilo because they want that power in their guys on the anchors.
Yeah. I'm excited by the power that I've seen from him because I wasn't sure how that would translate fully because he's more of like a controlled power player, not like an explosive power player. And I'm excited to see that it's translating to the league well. So on this one, we've got a run up the middle, looks like. So he's on Garrett. He's just trying to keep Garrett from spiking inside, basically, is the way that I'm reading this. Make sure he sets that edge and keeps him out there. So to me, I mean, this is just a fine rep. I don't think he does anything poorly. I don't think he does anything out of this world. He just does his job, which.
Yeah, and that's all you need him to do on a play like that. Ideally, it's entirely about taking away the inside gap, making sure that he can't get any momentum upfield. Just keep him out there, tack him right down the middle, and play football. And that's exactly what it does here. It does a good job. And again, it doesn't need to be a sexy block. It does exactly what you need from it. The guys that are the key blocks on this player, of course, your big hogs up the middle here, especially Jonah Jackson trying to climb to that second level and open up that A gap.
It's a beautiful climb from Jackson on this one.
This is just a nice play in general.
Yeah, and I like the finish from Darnell as well there. Gets a little help from Komet on it, but it was those two, Darnell and Jackson, had a heck of a day run blocking. I just got done with both their grades, and it was like, okay, they were fun to watch in this one.
Absolute monsters, man. This was a beautiful display from the O-line the entire day.
So, Ron, on this one, let's see. You got a screen pass going on here, and Myles Garrett tries to spike inside on him. Or no, it's not even Garrett on this one. It's 91 to Alex Wright, maybe.
Wright. Yeah.
Tries to spike inside on him. He keeps the strong right arm, is able to catch his momentum and really keeps Caleb clean here. Even disrupts Mason Graham maybe a little there with the other defender. But just a fine. I consider this a pass blocking rep. Usually on screens like this, if he's a guy running out, like we see Jackson and Dalman there, I'll consider it a run blocking rep. But for this, I consider that just a fine pass blocking rep. He did his job. He kept Caleb from getting under pressure on the backside, which is what he's supposed to do here.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you want to sell it and make it look like pass. I think he does a good job at that as well. Overall, that's exactly what I would expect out of my left tackle on a screen out to the right.
Yeah. So now we got toss out here, which Ron is coming around to toss plays.
Yeah, but
you mentioned
this right here is exactly why I don't like toss.
What is it? What is it that you don't like about it?
I just don't like how quickly guys can get downhill.
Okay.
That's what bothers me because sometimes like they'll take weird angles like this and
right. Jackson gets held up a little bit here, and then like he can't get to that backer, tries to get to the next backer,
and it's a free run. I mean, yeah, you're hoping that your back is either fast enough to get to the outside or savvy enough to make a move. But I don't know, man. I just don't love the idea of my back having to make a winning move before the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. And then so looking at Ozzy, I mean, he's backside on this. He's backside on a lot of their runs because you're going to run behind Darnell and Jackson a lot. And Ozzy's bigger strength is probably the pass pro. I do think Ozzy's showing some improvement in getting his head on the right side of this play and getting a bit more of his body around on it, and at least running the guy up. Like, I do think we're seeing some growth in that aspect, but like, he does his job here in my mind. It's just a fine rep, nothing special about it.
Yeah, he's using the right technique. It's exactly what I want him to see. He attacks the play side shoulder of the guy in front of him. Perfect head placement. Gets his hands in the right position. Is running with him.
Yeah,
I mean that's pretty much largely how they treat the backside. I think on toss, they almost just treat it like outside zone. It's run almost the exact same way most times.
In my mind, if you can get your hips around and cut him off, great, but it's not the expectation either.
No, you got to get in front of him and you got to hook him, and that's exactly what. Yeah, you would want to necessarily get in front of him. You can cut him off, especially on something like this. But even like it is with outside zone, that's what creates cutbacks. As long as you're in that you have your head on that play side shoulder and you're able to run him, that's how those cutback lanes are created. It's just about being one-on-one or being man-on-man and being able to scrape across the play and get upfield. And he's doing that here. I think it's a fine rep, especially being on the backside of a play. And he's trying to chase, and it's just a good rally by the Browns because, again, I just think H-back toss is such a terrible play.
Yeah, I only included this rep in here for Drew Dalman's tape so I can remember to give him a positive for snapping the football.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else to look at on this play because it gets blown dead.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much in the NFL, as soon as there's even the slightest bit of contact, they blow the play dead. Very different than college.
So this is the one that really stood out to me as made me think like, okay, Ozzy's getting better at this outside zone steps because he's getting more of his man than he did 2 weeks ago here.
Yeah, I think this is a really good, because this is exactly why if you're able to get out there, run them, you take it, is to get that cutback. And again, it's tough when you have Myles Garrett as your backside defender. You're hoping this hits clean. But I think what Trapilo's doing here is great.
Yeah, I'm giving him a good on this rep, like a plus, or a check plus. My grading system is a plus is a dominant rep, a check plus is a good rep, a check is a average fine rep. You did your job. A check minus is you might have got your job done, but it wasn't the way it's supposed to be done. And then a minus is what the hell are we doing here on this rep?
Yep.
So that one is a check plus. That's a good rep. Could have been better, but it doesn't have to be better. If you're consistently doing that, we are very happy.
1,000%.
All right. So is that Garrett that he's got there? He's getting some chip help from Smythe. Yeah, from Durham Smythe here on Garrett. We got play action pass here. Smythe gets his outside shoulder. Ozzy gets his inside. He's just trying to push him out of the, like basically like a run block and just out of the picture because you're trying to sell the run.
Mm-hmm.
Does his job. Does fine.
Yeah, I also really just like the Bears are, in my opinion, are also one of the better teams at selling play action. They just come off the ball so hard that, like, again, it's the Ben Johnson mentality of make the same things look different and different look the same, and that's critically important. Being able to sell run on a play action is just as important as making your block. Coming out and being physical, being nasty, and that's why this opens up.
And it just wears down the opponent.
Yeah, 1,000%. It's a free tee off. You
by not using it as a play off, you are taking more out of your opponent on that play too.
Absolutely.
Because it's really easy to use as a play off. You really don't have to do a ton there to keep the quarterback clean.
Definitely.
All right, so he's pass setting, but is it a pass? It is not a pass. Ooh, they sell it. I love that. He sells pass set there.
Oh, yeah.
Because I 100% thought this was play action watching Ozzy.
Yeah, I mean, you can make the argument watching everybody. They give it kind of enough of that, like, tweener where just, again, if you can force a defender to hesitate for half a second because they have to figure out what to key in on, that sets up angles for all your blockers, and it makes for easier blocks, and it makes for an easier block, for Ozzy, for Thuney. Again, I mean, Garrett runs away, but by
He's
that
Myles
point,
Garrett.
it's
I'm not
whatever.
knocking it because he's backside and he got him to hesitate enough,
Yeah,
But Garrett just
Garrett's just a freak athlete, man. If
he's
you're not
stupid sometimes, man. But this is a fine block in my mind from Ozzy.
Oh, for sure.
Fine attempt.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we got Scott saying Jackson on the plus play here in the comments. Let's see.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a really good good punch with that right arm.
I think I gave him just a check plus on this, but it's right on the edge of it. Like it would have been plus for me if he fully cut the guy off. But Jackson had 5 or 6 pluses in this game, and they were almost all run blocking. Like he had a day.
He was a dog.
Yeah.
That trap is a thing of beauty, by the way.
So we got Ozzy spiking inside here on. Ooh, okay, Ozzy. Ozzy got a plus on this one from me, I think, just for the want to.
Just launching people.
Yeah, he has become very comfortable with his power and just being and being confident in his power.
Yeah, just bullying people, especially when you get free opportunities like that. That's the time you want to tee off on guys, especially as a tackle. I feel like, usually, especially in plays that end up being pass plays like this one does, you very rarely get to tee off as a tackle. Usually the guards are the ones that get to tee off. So if you get to tee off as a tackle, you got to take advantage of it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I gave him a plus there just for the aggression, which I'm not going to do. Like when I'm grading these, I'm not going to give that a plus every time, but I'll give it a plus the first time usually. Because I don't want a guy's grade to get overinflated for something like that. But I want it to be reflected somehow.
Yeah, that's fair. The greatest formation in all of football, Q.
This is Ron's baby. He used to make playbooks in Madden with this. He was saying,
yes, this is what we were talking about pre-show. Yeah, pistol full house is one of my favorite formations in all of football.
And so we got the run play. Ozzy's in position and takes care of business. Gets up to that backer and just closes him off. I think I'd give him a plus on this. Because typically, if a guy is getting to the second level and gets a complete cutoff, I'll give him a plus. If he had to work through someone, that's when I'll consider a plus. But just getting there free, I'll still give him a plus for hitting his landmark and taking care of business there.
Yeah, he's got really good positioning on the play. There's a lot of times where guys will usually overrun that and not always plainly set up. They almost get too excited and you get a little too far upfield, where the defender's still kind of able to undercut and potentially have an impact on the play. Or they'll undersell it and they'll have the defender scrape across their face and be able to kind of chase the play. I mean, he does such a nice job here. He completely eats it up. And again, you're creating cutback lanes. Like, if I'd make the argument, if I believe that's is it Schweringer, right? Carson Schweringer.
Swessinger.
Thank you. If he's able to, if he doesn't necessarily come through that gap, that's where the play's probably wanting to hit.
Yeah.
Right. We talk about running the hash. That's where that play opens up.
Yeah.
That's your two-way go for your DeAndre Swift. It's either up the hash or out the back door. That's what he does here.
If Swessinger stays with the traffic a little more on the blocks, like towards Dalman, then that's the clear path, and Ozzy is leading that. He has paved that path as far as the left side is concerned. So yeah, plus.
Oh, for sure. And you can make the argument too, right? If the defense, whatever the defensive call is, if he's responsible for, let's say, the B or C gap, he gets caught up in that wash, and that's where that hole opens up. But because he cuts through and comes backside A gap, then that forces DeAndre Swift to take it out the front C gap, and I think it's a good decision. But this shaped up well, man. When you've got a true two-way go, assuming a defender doesn't come through and clog it up, that's how this should be blocked.
Yeah. I just love from the Ozzy standpoint that his guy doesn't peter off towards the end and go find his way back into the play. Ozzy just shuts it down and keeps it shut down. He finishes the rep.
Eats it up, and then it's an easy Swift touchdown.
Ooh.
What's the terminology that we were talking about? Don't trip.
Don't trip. I'm giving him a negative on this just for it's not even so much as just as don't trip. Don't let the guy force you into a position to trip. To me, the defender on this rep takes control of the rep and is pushing Ozzy into a position he doesn't want to be in. And that's what forces him to trip at the end of the day. So I think I gave him a bad on this one.
I think a lot of people also forget that, like, Mason Graham is kind of a dude.
Dude, Mason Graham had he looked awesome in this game.
Oh, yeah. Like, I think so many, because I remember when he was coming out, like, he had a much more down draft year. And everybody was like, oh, is he going to be good enough? You know, whatever. Is he too small? And it's like, no, this dude's a dog. Like, he's a really good football player. So this is a guy that even a second round rookie.
He's a really good wrestler, too.
Yeah, and, dude, I'll tell you what. Really good wrestlers translate to really good line players on either side.
I think it shows in this rep, that core strength, balance, and just hand usage. Like, that's all wrestling stuff.
Yeah.
But so I gave him a bad on this rep because I thought Mason Graham just took control of him and kind of drove him where he wanted to. Didn't impact the play necessarily. Actually, I think it does. I think, Graham gets back up and is able to get in the play there. Wait, you know what? No, I gave him poor on this one because he took Graham down with him. That's what saved it from being a bad. It was like, okay, but you still took him down with you without drawing a penalty for it. So I will give you some grace on it.
Trip him up and make him look like he tripped.
Yeah. So mark that as a poor. There's no black and white when it comes to grading these guys, man. It's like there's so much to consider. And on this,
it's a really good right by Alex Wright too.
Yeah. Well, and Darnell Wright steps on Jonah Jackson's foot and stumbles because of it, and that kind of kills this play because then the backer's able to set a hard edge on a run that's meant to hit far outside. Bingo. And it forces Swift back inside. That little stutter was all it takes.
Yep. Football is completely a timing sport.
Because if Darnell Wright is able to kick out, what is that number, 17 or 47 maybe? The backer like there, 17. If he's able to kick out 17, you got. I mean, I trust Swift to beat him out here.
Oh, for sure.
You got, as long as DJ's hitting that, you got green grass. You know,
definitely.
So they were just inches off from pulling this one off. Especially, I mean, I guess by now Swift is cutting back anyways. But you have Thuney hitting his guy out there too. Like,
yeah,
you had room to run. Oh, this is one that I like. On first view of this one, I was like, oh, Ozzy. But then, like, I realized how hard that Garrett was spiking inside. I was like, okay, it's still good. But at first, I thought he completely redirected his momentum. I was like, holy shit, that's Myles Garrett. You just did that too. So I gave him a good here. At first, I was about to give him a plus, but then it was like, well, Garrett's momentum was carrying him that way. He did a really nice job using that momentum against Garrett.
Definitely.
Which is still like, it's a high-end check plus to me, but it's still just a check plus.
Yeah, he does a really, really nice job just throwing him into the pile, knowing that Monongai's got a chance to get out there and find some grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he spikes across you, throw him into the pile. I think most importantly, he doesn't let Myles Garrett get any upfield penetration.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's lateral. So I agree.
His power matched Garrett all day. Like,
Oh, yeah.
he didn't overpower him, but like he matched consistently, which is impressive to me.
Yeah, he's a powerful human being, but like you
Yeah.
said, he's very like tactically powerful.
Yeah.
He's not just like wild all over the place powerful.
Right. And this one, you got DJ giving a real nice chip here.
DJ got rewarded for blocking.
Yeah.
In this one, the football gods were smiling on DJ Moore in this game,
and that helps Ozzy just get his hands on him and find a control point. Which, fine rep here. Usually, if a guy does decent, like does well off a chip, off a good chip, I have a hard time giving him much more than just a fine grade because it's like it got teed up for you. Yeah, you know, you it's like walking up to your ball in the middle of the fairway and teeing it back up. You know, might help your shot a little. So I think this is just a fine rep.
Yeah, I agree.
But again, fine as did your job.
Fine's fine. We like fine. Fine's good.
Exactly. And look at this. I didn't see the I didn't look at the sideline view of this one where you can see what happens with the DBs, but I was getting a good laugh on this one of like you look at the start of the rep. Here's Colston Loveland. Got number 9 on him. And then out of the frame. By the time the frame pans to him, look at how much separation Colston Loveland got from the guy who sat down, who fell down. And he is a mile away already, and the guy's still on the ground.
And I think this was set up by Olamide Zacchaeus because this is, I mean, he's spiking hard with that slant. That's a veteran. That's a veteran receiver knowing how to run that route, knowing what's expected. You got to bump and rub with these DBs and hope somebody gets caught up in the pile. And that's exactly what happens. And you create so much space for Colston Loveland. Again, if there's a little space, it's still a quality play. If there's a lot of space, you get shit like this.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like we got number 17 coming off the edge here, which in theory, as long as Ozzy gets in position, this should be an easier rep for him as long as he can get his hands on the guy. And I think that's Loveland. Or no, it's Smythe. Smythe gives him a good chip here and just makes his job pretty easy on this one because the chip just gives him a clear path to getting his hands on the guy. And when you're talking about a linebacker safety type like number 17, if Ozzy can get his hands on him, it should be rep over.
Yes, absolutely.
So again, this was just a fine one to me.
Yep. Did exactly what I expect.
And then we get to watch Luther Burden go make extra yards.
I hope he's not out this week.
Yeah.
Oh.
So let's see. We got the run play here. I'm not sure who that is at edge, but it's not Myles Garrett. It's not Alex Wright. But I think Ozzy does a nice job here getting his hands on him, setting the edge and kicking him out. So to me, I think this was a good rep. Bordering on fine. Like this one was like a lower end good. I might have actually given this fine. I don't remember, but I'm thinking now I'll give it good just because of this right here. That kick out displacement he generates to me is what makes me feel like, okay, I can give a good on this one.
I agree. I think if you were to look at this and he's able to just kind of occupy that inside shoulder of the defender, you're like, yeah, okay, you did your job. Like you're just holding up long enough where this play can either again get right up the gut or bounce if it needs to. And for him, just this power and this right-handed and this right punch. And then for him to, I think what's so impressive about Trapilo is it's not so much just the power, but it's how fluid he is in getting from power to his hips. And
Yeah.
he's able to bring his hips around. Because if you watch this rep, huge punch, right? And that's all great and dandy. A lot of guys can deliver that and then have to kind of keep fighting with it because they're not
I mean,
able to just
Jackson is
swivel.
that way a lot. Jonah Jackson's that way a lot.
Yeah.
He struggles to continue to drive and maintain that contact. Got an outstanding punch, but he doesn't really drive as well once he has his hands on guys.
And that's where like Trapilo is so impressive because he gets this punch here, and then watch how fluid his hips are for him to kind of this up kick. He reestablishes his base and just drives that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of like Thor looking shit here.
Yeah. And Scott in the comments is saying that if Wright makes his block, this is a TD. I actually think Wright makes his block here. I'm not sure. Let's see. It looks like the Browns fill this really nicely with defensive backs more than anything. Because I think that's just a safety filling really cleanly. Because I think Wright keeps his guy out of the play. Now maybe if Wright drives his guy, maybe there's something more there. But then maybe the safety's not filling downhill the same way.
I admittedly, I'd make the argument here that the Browns are able to ultimately win this because Jonah Jackson gets a little piece.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if I'm being honest, it looks like I can't pin this on just Darnell Wright because you can make the argument that Jonah Jackson doesn't technically keep his guy. That guy scrapes across his face, so Kmet has to take him, and then Kmet's guy makes the tackle. So, again, football's a team sport. There's like three things that could happen here that would have made it a touchdown. Darnell Wright does his job. That's his guy. That's all he's responsible for on this play. Jackson's responsible to climb and get to that linebacker, and instead he has to pick up. He initially picks up that linebacker, then that linebacker scrapes across his face. And so Cole Kmet has to take him. Again, this is why it's O-line friendly because it's, hey, tight end, you got to protect them. If he scrapes across his face, you just take him. And if we get 4 yards, we get 4 yards.
Yeah.
But if it hits right, it hits right. But I love what Ozzy does on this play.
Yeah.
Not to get too sidetracked.
All right, let's keep it moving because we're trying to keep a bit faster pace on this one. So right there, is that Garrett? Looks like Garrett.
Looks like it.
So we got Ozzy on Garrett here on a pass. I think no, on a run. So I think this is just fine. I do like what I'm seeing from Ozzy here with the aggressive hands, getting contact and trying to take control of the rep with his power. I think he does everything he's supposed to here. It's just a fine rep because he's not really involved in the play that much, but he does his job.
Definitely, and he gets the right body positioning. He's got his head in the inside there. He's protecting his inside gap. That's most important for these tackles on plays like this that are hitting up the middle. All you got to do is keep him outside. Just make sure he doesn't cross your face. And he gets in the right body position. He hunkers down. He uses that power. And he keeps Myles Garrett to his outside. And that's all you're asking for in a play that's meant to hit this quick.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this one, if Wright makes his block, maybe it's a touchdown.
Yes, agreed.
Because this was one of Darnell had a really nice game, but when Darnell Wright has negative reps, they tend to be bad, and this was that. This was a bad rep.
Yeah.
So this one will be the pass, and we got Ozzy kicking down on, I think that's Mason Graham here. We got Cole Kmet on Myles Garrett on a pass play, which is wild. But
Cole Kmet's a monster.
With enough play, Cole Kmet, he does it. He does the damn thing. At least enough. You know, he's actually going out to a route at the end. That was he does exactly what he's supposed to do here. But so back to Ozzy. Kicks down onto Mason Graham here and really protects that inside, which for where the pocket is,
Mhm.
I get why he's going so hard inside. He cannot be beat on his right shoulder.
Yep.
He can be beat on his
Exactly.
left shoulder because he has Kyle Monungai right
Bingo.
there to help. But he cannot be beat on his right shoulder here because that pocket will be gone instantly if he is. I think Ozzy does his job here. I think this is a fine.
Yeah. Absolutely agree. And what a throw by Caleb.
Beautiful touch on this pass. All right, so now we are still watching Ozzy just because our camera angle switched. Point him out again. He is on the right side of your screen now, but still playing left tackle. Just switched end zones that we're looking out of. All right, run play here, and again, fine. They protect Ozzy a lot, honestly, in the run game. It's a lot of reps just like that where it's fine. Where he just, as you said quite a few times already, gets Myles Garrett outside, keeps him outside, and that's the rep.
Yeah.
All right, he's trying to cross Mason Graham's face here, number 94, or not cross face, probably the wrong terminology, but get that outside zone block on him.
Yep.
And once again, he kind of lets Mason Graham run him into trouble a little here. I think he's struggled in this game to match Mason Graham and defensive tackles in general power in the run game, which is weird because I do think his power shows up a lot in this game, but his power, I think he loses a little moving laterally.
Yeah, I like though what he does here. Truthfully, like he's doing everything. Ozzy Trapilo is a true technician in the sense of like he can be bullied, but he's going to give you. This is the BC guy in him, right? He's smart. He's a smart football player. He's well coached. That's what they want because he's doing everything right here. You fight and you keep fighting and you try to get to that outside shoulder. And if you can't get there, you keep fighting and you keep fighting.
Ron, where does his left hand go?
Yeah. On the hip, baby. Throw him out the club. He's doing exactly what you want him to do here. And I really like then when he realizes there's nothing I can do here. I got to just get a little bit of him. He goes into that kind of the rip through. Like O-linemen do this a lot more than people realize. You used to see it a lot more, I think, in the old school triple option where like tackles would rip through and just barrel into linebackers. But this is exactly where you want to use that because even if he just gets just enough of them with that, just a little, just forcing Graham to slow down for a half a step, then DeAndre Swift's able to get out of there and worry about what's in front of him. And Mason Graham tracks him down. That's why he's a top 5 pick.
Well, and I mean, it keeps Graham, it gets Graham's hand out of his chest here, right? It keeps Graham from pushing him to where Graham wants to push him at that point. And he says, okay, you have to turn now. Your arm is no longer in me and I can actually dictate something again.
Yeah.
This was a fine rep, I think, for me, but like it was bordering on like the lower end of fine.
Yeah, I think, again, you would like him to get across his face, but I think, too, we also just need to respect Mason Graham a little bit more. I think the NFL hasn't respected him enough.
No,
this is just, he's a freak. This is a hard block. That's a good football player.
And to be clear, too, my grades do not adjust for the guy you're going against.
No, understood.
Right, like it's because then it would be really hard to compare game to game. Like I can look at his game against Myles Garrett, see a lower grade, and be like, "Well, that makes sense," as opposed to like, "Oh, he did that well against Myles Garrett." No, like that wouldn't be a fair grade.
No, absolutely, and completely agree. But I think again, you see it here too, right? Mason Graham's chasing; he's trying to make an effort, hell of an effort by Mason Graham. But like DeAndre Swift gets another probably 10 yards almost. Just because he gets just enough of them. So again, it's to your point, Q. I know we've talked about the grading. It's something that I've used when we do the draft content and a bunch of other things. I use the same grading scale. It's watching him do everything he's coached to do, fighting for that head placement, trying to run across him, getting his hand on the hip, running him through. When he realizes he can't get to him and dictate him and control him, then it's all right. I'm going to swim through and just try to get a piece. You're doing everything you're asked to do on this play. And would you hope it'd be a better block? Sure, of course. But like, That's at least what you want to see. You want to see your guys go down fighting and doing what they're coached to do.
Right. And so Scott in the comments saying again, Jackson plus play. Yes. I loved this play from Jackson.
Yeah, that's nice. That's where Jonah's really good.
Yeah. And then I also loved this play from Joe Thuney, which a bit less conventionally, but because Joe Thuney doesn't reach the linebacker who he's trying to reach here. The guy's just too fast. Physics is a real thing. He can't get there. But watch what he does with his left hand. Just pushes him into the guy in front of him, and they both go tumbling down. Jackson's guy was starting to go down anyways, but he was just like, "Oh, you're not in control of your body. I'm gonna push you. Like I might not be able to block you, but I'm gonna do something." And just I love that. I loved that way too much from Joe Thuney.
And that's the cerebral of Joe Thuney, right? We hear like how smart Joe Thuney is as a person. Like he is.
Yeah.
That's just intelligence, knowing, oh, I can't get you. I'm just gonna smack the shit out of you. And this is the bully ball thing, right? You just got smacked by a grown ass man and got sent flying.
Yeah.
That's bully ball at its finest.
Yeah. All right, so we got a true pass set here. This one is one to look at because no play action, straight drop back out of shotgun. Ozzy Trapilo on Myles Garrett. And Garrett gives him a nasty bull rush here. I mean, this is Myles Garrett says, "All right, kid, let's see how strong you are."
I'm coming right into your midsection, and of course he's got Joe to come help.
Yeah. So a part of me was like, I was impressed that I did think that Ozzy is managing it before Thuney gets there. Myles Garrett he torques him. But he doesn't get free either. They're both torqued at that point. It's not just Myles Garrett bent you in half. It's Myles Garrett tried to bend you in half, so you tried to bend him in half.
Yeah.
I felt good about this rep. I gave a good here.
That's a stalemate. Again, he's still demonstrating his power. Like this is also insane leverage from Garrett too. Garrett is at like the bottom. His face mask is at the bottom of Ozzy's shoulder pads. He is low.
Well, right here it's not, and then out of nowhere it is.
He just dips. Yeah, he uses the elite dip that he's got, and he gets long, and he dips, and he gets low, and that's what makes him so hard to block. Like what Ozzy Trapilo's doing here. Think about like when you're like moving furniture with your friends, and you're going down a staircase, and your buddy drops the love seat. And you torque to try to catch it so you don't go tumbling underneath. That's what Ozzy Trapilo's doing here.
Yeah, and then
and that's impressive. Like,
and
right,
walking funny for 2 weeks.
Exactly. Where Ozzy Trapilo's getting up and just saying next play. Like that's a strong human being. Like to your point, Q. This is the beauty of the all 22 and be able to go back and watch this. Is you can see that and just like kind of sit there and go, oh shit, like and you appreciate that. Of how he's able to bend like that and still keep some level of balance. He's got a good center of gravity for how big he is.
Yeah. He's very smooth and balanced for being 6'8". A lot of guys that tall look awkward and segmented in their movements. He doesn't.
Theo Benedict.
Yeah, I mean he looks robotic at times, especially in I think in pass pro, he tends to look very robotic at times. Braxton Jones, 6'7", I think. And I don't think he ever was the smoothest guy, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, God, 6'7".
Sorry.
I did it.
Myself.
I did it. I forced it.
You know what? Q, I think we've done that. I think I did it on 2 consecutive shows, and now that makes 3. Bears on Tap is having a hard time.
And Scott's saying that Garrett gave him a tip of the cap on this play. It must have been after the rep, but I get why. Garrett said, "All right, kid, let's see what you got," and he stood up to it. So I understand why.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Scott said too, Ozzy has that anchor. He does, and he's getting more comfortable with it on the left side too, and that's why he's now able to play there.
All right, so this one was just a run up the gut. Garrett spikes inside on him. And really, I mean, I don't think Ozzy does anything wrong here. I think he does everything he can to prevent him from getting that inside lane. It's a fine rep to me. He's in the pile of shit and he's making it a pile of shit.
Don't you love when they just make a pile of shit? That's my favorite.
I like
block
how he
in all of
continues continues the drive and doesn't just give all right, I did my job, move on. But I think that's still just a fine rep. And yes, Ron, pile of shit is a great play.
Pile of shit. It's my favorite. Create a pile of shit. What do you think I should do? What do you think you should do? Create a pile of shit. They can't make the play if they're stuck in a pile of shit.
Right.
It's like a rugby scrum. It's the same idea.
This one doesn't end great for the Bears. I think Wright gets beat a little, and I'm not sure if Komet's trying to get 49 and just says, I can't get there, and just moves on. I think that's kind of what happens there. But, yeah.
I'd say that's probably a safe bet.
Okay, we got Ozzy climbing. And we got Ozzy.
Ole. Oh,
yeah.
no.
This is a bad.
Yeah. Tell you what, you know who does a great job climbing here? Drew Dalman.
Of course he does. Another guy who had a heck of a game. Yeah, Ozzy's just a little over aggressive there to the spot. Maybe let's see. I felt like he was not in bad position out of the gate there. I think it's just timing and spacing that he's still learning.
Definitely, and I think understanding that you've got a DB coming downhill, you just need to cut him off. You don't need to try to make the hero block.
Yeah.
And the DB does a nice job setting him up.
Yeah.
Hits him with the Ole. Now, granted, the play cuts back and his guy doesn't make the play, which you appreciate. But yeah, it's never great when you get
your guy doesn't have to be like, I know you know this. I'm just explaining for the viewers. Your guy doesn't have to be the guy blowing up the play for it to be a bad block. It doesn't have to necessarily impact the play. You grade the process, not the result, right? Like that's
bingo.
That's how you find accurate grades or attempt.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Always grading the process. If your process is good, I'll take a good process and understand the outcome is never going to always be good.
Right. So this one again, he's not on Garrett. We got Cole Kmet, I think, or is that Smythe? One of the two. Actually on Garrett. Ozzy's joining with Joe Thuney on the defensive tackle here.
Double teams.
Double teams. Get a nice climb out of it. Ozzy does a nice job of taking what Thuney's given him already and using that to continue moving the defender outside and continue swiveling his body around. I think he does a very nice job there and just cutting off. I think I gave him a fine on this, bordering like a high-end fine, but I felt like Thuney really sets this up nicely with the way that he is leveraging that defender's inside shoulder and jolts him, which gives Trapilo just a great aiming point to just keep moving this guy. It's a nice job by Ozzy, but I had a hard time saying this is a rep where I feel like he really did a ton. He did his job very well, but I'm not sure if it deserved more than a fine grade.
No, I agree. I think because of what's being asked of him on that play, I think you said it perfectly. He gets there. Now, I really like, and this is where this would be the note section of each of these grades, right? But I really like the inside arm extension here to ensure you're able to get your hips around and get through, right? Yeah. That's good process. But yeah, Joe Thuney makes his play. Get enough of that outside shoulder, give enough help to your guy as you climb, get the right angle to cut him off. Like Joe Thuney would have gotten a plus at least out of me on this.
Yeah, I think I gave Thuney a I don't know
At
if
least a
plus,
plus.
but a plus on that.
At
one.
least a plus. Yeah.
I have a hard time giving pluses on combos, honestly, which is weird because it's like both which one like it turns into gray area for me because like both guys did a good job here, but did either do a dominant job, you know?
Yeah, I think when it comes, I think both need to have a dominant rep for it to
Yeah.
be a dominant rep. I think
Yeah.
that's how double teams are played. Like they truly become 1 = 2 in that sense. So if you're like, if they both did a great job, yeah, then I'll give grades. But like if they both did their job and maybe one guy he had to do more on the play per se, and like in this kind of instance, then that's where you say maybe like, okay, yeah, I can give him a good and the other guy gets a fine. And I think you're comfortable with that.
Look at this. Who was it? Jim Schwartz? This Jim Schwartz front.
It's ugly.
You got like a 2-eye, you've got like a 4-eye, you've got a linebacker lurking behind them both, and then no one in between. Like no one in. That is so much space.
He's betting you. He's like, come on.
Yeah.
Do something
that is a
weird.
Gamble.
Yeah, that is a gamble.
So you got Ozzy trying to get across on 4-5 here. What are you going to tell me, Ron?
I was just say this is how you take Myles Garrett out of the football game.
Yeah. There was a big effort to do that in this one. But so you got Ozzy replacing for Thuney, who's trying to pull. They can't quite get the pull because of the 2-eye there, 5-1, just disrupting. And both the 2-eye and the 4-eye disrupting his pull. But I'm not sure. I think that actually ends up working out okay on this rep. But we're looking at Ozzy trying to get up to 4-5 and just gets tripped up there. I gave him a poor on this one just because don't trip. I don't think it was enough to be a bad because I don't think the defender forced him into the trip as much as there was just a lot of junk there, but I still gave him a poor on it.
I'm okay with that. Because don't trip.
Yeah.
Q, just as much as run the hash needs to get on a t-shirt, don't trip needs to be on a t-shirt.
It's one of the favorite coaching points I ever heard, like in high school and stuff, because it was just like, how do you just not trip? It was like I had to like think through it, and it was like, well, I guess like you got to be aware of your body position, and like you got to work on your balance, and like Joe Thuney never trips.
No,
rarely.
He doesn't.
Rarely. So there is something to it. Like
he needs to be like full blown like taken out to trip.
Yeah.
It's not just like an oops trip. It's like he just got clobbered trip.
Yeah. You rarely see Trent Williams on the ground, like
don't trip.
There is a talent to it or a skill to it.
Be an athlete, don't trip.
Yeah. Okay, so we got another run here. You can tell just because of how far downfield Ozzy is before the ball gets handed off. You can tell he's going more than 2 yards. Like, okay, so it's a run. He's just cutting off backside here. I think I was kind to him to give him a fine here because he just kind of gets olayed by 43. He alters the guy's path, which is ultimately why I give him a fine because that guy's path gets a lot harder trying to go inside of Ozzy rather than outside. So to me, ultimately, it was a fine. I didn't love that the guy just kind of gets by him, but I don't hate it because he does his job. Technically,
yeah, he does his job, and if his guy makes the play here, either something went really wrong on the front side, or that guy's like an all-world football player.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with the process. I think he certainly could have taken a better angle. This is a hell of an angle for an offensive lineman in open space, though.
Mm-hmm.
Just it's a difficult block in general, but I think he does a nice job of ensuring at least that guy's not able to scrape across the top and then really get away from him. He's at least still able to create content, throw that guy into another guy. Again, that guy comes back and he makes the play. He's otherworldly or, something really bad happened on the front side.
Yeah. All right. So this one, we got him flanked by the tight end here, getting outside on 91. So that's Alex Wright. Looks like play action. And this is something that.
Was this a bad Jonah Jackson ramp?
Oh, was it?
Oh, I'm asking. It feels like it should be. Or maybe not bad, at least poor. At least a check minus.
Oh no, yeah, I gave him a check minus here because I think I liked the way he attacked Mason Graham, but I didn't like how much he turns to do it, and I didn't like how unaware he is of a blitzer coming, which not the easiest read on 43, but I can't have your pads parallel to the sideline here, knowing it's a Jim Schwartz defense.
Definitely.
But so for Ozzy, I think this was just fine. Front side of the play action play.
Yeah.
He takes care of business. He has some help from Joe Thuney here to kind of protect his inside shoulder. So, he's able to just focus on the outside. You see Wright kind of gets the swim on him, but Thuney's there to shut it down, and guy's not going anywhere anyways. It's a fine rep in my mind.
Absolutely. Can we watch the end of this one, Q, for the throw?
Yeah.
I said it on Sunday show,
Dude.
and I'm going to double down on it. This was the best throw of the game.
This throw, when I saw the all 22 view of this throw, I audibly went whew.
Because remember, Q, what we talked about for the listeners, this throw is from the other half. This is a long throw to that corner, and
the broadcast view did not do this justice.
Hell no. No, this throw in person was crazy. This was this was in front of our end zone where we were sitting. This is it. This one was a thing of beauty. I said, wow, after that throw. I was like, okay, we got a guy. There's not a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL that make this all the time. That's just a crazy
beautiful
ball.
That's through the keyhole too. That is tight coverage. You got corner on a tight end right there. Great catch too, but the throw is.
Oh yeah, the catch is equally as sick, but the throw is spectacular.
All right, so you got him spiking down again on I think that was 9-4. Yeah, on Mason Graham. There's a pass play, so he's focusing on not getting too far downfield with it, but just generally a fine rep.
Yeah, I like what he does there. Get on his back hip and throw him through. You want to control a human being? Grab him on the hip. That was almost a sick throw too, by the way, to DJ on the sideline.
Oh yeah,
all that incomplete.
Oh, did they? I thought that they got that one, but
was that one in? I can't remember.
I thought it was, but because at first I thought it was out, and then I was surprised when it wasn't. But I could also be mistaken. So Ozzy gets a little bit of 97 here. Looks like he's spiking that way anyways. So hard to tell just how much force there really is there. It looks like he just kind of flashes the hands more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's just a fine. There's not much to talk about on that one.
No, I like what he did.
What do you like?
I just, again, I think just selling hard, looking to clean up. I think it's like you said. I think it's fine.
I didn't think I was curious to hear the O-line coach perspective of what he did well, because in my mind I was like, it's fine. It was he didn't do it. In my mind it was he didn't do much, so it's fine. But when you said you liked it, I was like, oh, tell me more.
No, I like it though because of his aiming point with his hands. He's clearing out that gap. He's pushing them through. He's making sure that you're creating that movement.
Yeah.
Again, there's a lot of guys that'll misfire on this punch and try to hit the guy higher or just not even get a piece of him. Trapilo's so long and able to get on that hip. And then he comes back and he's got his eyes up and he's looking to fill two gaps. I like that.
He knows it's a Jim Schwartz defense that will bring crazy heat out of nowhere.
If I'm grading it, it's fine, but I'm still happy with the process.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. A lot of him, man, they tried to put Garrett in a lot of conflict.
Make sure he doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah. I like this from Ozzy. Is you see his force come in here. Just able to move the man out. I think I just gave him a fine on it because, again, It's just get your hands on his hips and move them. But he did it, and like he showed the power to do it, which I like. But it's still just a fine to me.
Definitely. I agree with your thought process. You're doing what you asked.
Oh, and this one, not sure who that is that missed. I think that's Zacchaeus, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's Zacchaeus. It's Cole Kmet.
Oh no, it's Kmet. It's a rare one for him.
43 had a good
made
game.
a good play. Yeah.
Yeah. He had a couple of those. They're still a good defense, man. Like they'll get their own, but they got worn. They played well in the first half against the Bears.
Yeah.
The Bears just wore them down.
Well, and also, I mean, they were missing Malik Collins for the last 2 games, and they've been very different without Malik Collins. They're missing Denzel Ward in this one, who's a very good cornerback still. I know his PFF grades aren't great this year, but he's still a really good cornerback.
Oh yeah, he's still a monster. Guys can be monsters and just have bad years. It happens.
All right. I gave Ozzy a pour on this one at least. Because once again, ding, ding, ring the bell. Mason Graham is a problem.
Mason Graham is a problem.
Like, he attacks this double team beautifully. Attack one man. He attacks Ozzy. Thuney's climbing anyways. So he's like, I just got to get my hands on Ozzy so I can control the rep. Is able to discard Ozzy and get in on the tackle. I think I kept it at a pour on this, but it's a low end pour in my mind.
Yeah, I think it's borderline bad because I mean he gets completely worked. This is supposed to hit front side. It's supposed to hit right of the hash.
Yeah.
Well, our left. There.
I'm gonna go with bad on this.
I would
because it's going behind Ozzy. Like that's the first read there.
That's an important block, and yeah, he's the most inside technique is clearly the read there where he needs to go. He's not covered up, forces Monangai to have to come back, and Myles Garrett's a problem. Makes a great play,
yeah,
because he's blocking on. It looks like I believe it's Durham Smythe here.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to this next one here. Pass play against Garrett. Got a nice chip from the tight end there, who they really focus on not hurting guys with chips. You can tell in this offense, and I love it because chips are, you look around the league, chips are often detrimental to blockers. And not in this offense. They are they clearly teach this stuff well to help the blockers with the chips, not hurt them.
Yeah. Agreed. Teaching proper technique, and that way they're able to sell what they need to sell and get a piece.
He's not human. There's no defending that. I gave him a pour here because, frankly, I feel like you have to because Myles Garrett just beats him. But like, that body movement from Myles Garrett is just so unnatural.
Yeah, he's just different. When they talk about that,
and then just to fully bend around the corner and turn it like nothing.
When they say bend, this is what people are talking about.
Yeah,
this is that on full display.
Yeah. So I gave him a pour. I didn't give him a bad. There was a decent, there was enough time. The chip bought enough time on the rep to theoretically get the ball out. So I'd put this sack more on Caleb than Ozzy, but Ozzy does he gets some blame here in my mind.
For sure. Yeah.
Because he gets beat by a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yes. But he can tell his grandkids he got beat by a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Yeah, that rep was the all right, we know you can handle power now. Let's see how you can handle this.
Yeah.
From Garrett.
Watch this trick.
So Ozzy's climbing up to 49 here on the run play.
Thank you for including this cue.
This is the full game. This is the full game.
Oh, this is
we are grading Ozzy's entire game here. Was the idea.
because I'm glad we get to see this play again because this thing is
A thing of beauty from Jackson.
Jonah Jackson. This is every OC's. Remember how Ben Johnson said in his press conference that he's like he was dreaming about this play, like falling asleep.
Yeah.
This is like offensive line porn stuff for Ben Johnson and his sick brain. Like this is the Wolverine holding the picture, and it's just gonna be this highlight over and over again.
Yeah.
That's
This
all.
one. So this one is maybe one of the best like looking blocks of the year for a pure like decleating a defensive tackle like
this
that.
If Mason Graham needed a good welcome to the NFL moment for his rookie season highlight, this is one of them.
Yeah. But I will say, I think this was only the second most impressive rep from Jackson in this game.
Which is crazy to think.
This is the most like aesthetically pleasing. This is the most like dominant, but the most impressive one comes later because it's a skill set that is very like narrow for Jackson, but he is so good at. But for Trapilo on this one, he's just getting up to 49 here. I think I gave him a good on this because I like the little Olay that he gets on the defensive tackle, that spatial awareness to be able to work around the guy and still get up to the backer.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him finish better, but he gets there and he impacts the play. Like I gave him a good here, I think.
Yeah.
I gave him a fine on this one because I think he runs him up the pocket enough. It's not pretty, but I gave him some grace on this one, I think.
Yeah. They're not always going to be pretty, but sometimes you just got to get enough.
Ultimately, he does enough, and Garrett is not in striking distance right there.
Yeah, and Joe Thuney is that guy.
Oh, yeah, that is Thuney who cleans that up. Maybe I might give him a poor on this. I didn't realize that was Thuney who took it. Yeah.
Sometimes,
and I think
watch it twice.
when I watched this at first for Ozzy, I think I gave him a fine, and then when I watched it for Thuney, I went, oh, and then I revised it for Ozzy. In hindsight, I think, as I'm thinking back to it, it all starts to blend together when you're watching it 5 times.
Oh, for sure. No, for sure. I feel that.
All right, so you had Garrett lined up in a more interior technique here. Pass play looks like, yeah. You get a little stunt. That power plays for Ozzy. He just bends right into it. Absorbs it really well here from Garrett, I think. I gave him a good on this one.
Yep.
And he also detaches and gets and keeps going for the looper if the ball's not out.
Yeah. I really like it. That's a good rep from him. I think too what was so impressive about Trapilo in this game was, Myles Garrett's one of those pass rushers that can beat you with both the finesse and the power. Mm-hmm. He kind of neutralized Garrett's power for the most part and really forced him to just be one-dimensional and be a finesse rusher to beat him.
Which maybe that's why the Browns said, all right, let's get him wide.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the Bears started really aggressively chipping him, was from these wide alignments.
Yeah.
Like that.
Like Colston Loveland just depleting him.
Yeah. And on this one, this is a fine for Ozzy. There's no grade. Colston Loveland took out Garrett, which in domino effect took out Graham there.
And DJ Moore makes a big play.
I gave him fine on this. He got chip help, but he does a good job of, in my mind, he gives the corner, but extends those hands quickly and pushes him up the pocket enough where I'm that ball's. It's probably poor. Yeah, it's poor.
He'd like him to get a little bit more. I think if he gets a little bit more of him a split second earlier, I'm probably saying it's fine.
Yeah. And the differentiation to me, when I'm like hesitating on these, is when I see like he could have forced that fumble if Caleb holds on another split second. And that's, to me, like that's where I'm like, okay, that ball was in danger at that point.
Yeah. Unfortunate drop.
That's bad. This was a bad rep. Myles Garrett after the first half was like, okay, now I know how to beat you, and I'm gonna beat you.
Yeah. Just bend the corner and get there.
Was that? It's on Alex Wright, but that's Zacchaeus.
Yep.
Or, yeah, Zacchaeus just getting the business right there. Ozzy's job becomes real easy from there. That's a fine rep.
Hell yeah.
I gave him a good on this, I think, because I was impressed by his vertical explosiveness. I thought here he just went for it and forced Garrett to change his plan. To where there was help on the inside shoulder, but I think that forcing Garrett to change his plan here was enough for me to give him a good.
Yeah, I think that's good thought process on it. Yeah, I like how quickly he's able to get depth, and
we hadn't really seen that much. He adapted to Garrett here.
Yeah, he did a nice job. Yeah, knowing, especially when you know, that's also just good protection calling too, right? Knowing, hey, we can get real wide here and force him to have to come back inside when there's adequate help.
Yeah, I wasn't totally sure that Ozzy had that in his bag until that rep.
Yeah.
So good to see. This was the end of half play.
Yep. Remember it well.
All right, so now we're on to second half here. Ooh. I gave him a bad on this. You can't get whipped like that and not get a bad in my mind.
Yeah, he gets completely thrown. Mason Graham is a bad dude.
He is. I do not like. I'm so glad that you said you don't think he's gotten the love that he deserves, because people were like trashing on him early in the season, and he, from this game, he looks awesome.
Yeah, I think he's a guy that was a little smaller and undersized and just had to find his way, and he's done that. Like, he's still a good football player. This guy went with a top 5 pick for a reason.
Once again, alien. It ends up being a bad rep because alien does alien things, but it's still a bad rep because he can't stop the alien from doing alien things.
Yeah, that dude's crazy.
Like the width he gets here in this one step is just insane.
It's unbelievable. Just how quick he is off the ball.
Yeah.
Like, Ozzy doesn't know what the hell hit him there. He's just like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
He's like,
well, I guess I'll go block the next guy.
Yeah, where'd
I just transported out of my sight.
Yeah, the way he covers ground, just how quickly he can get so wide and just he can do it so quickly.
Did you catch what they were saying about his foot surgery that he had this offseason? So he was very flat-footed growing up, and he had to have surgery to create arches in his feet. And so they had implants in his feet his whole life, like since whenever he had that surgery, and they were painful for him at this point as an adult. He got them removed this offseason, and it has like taken years off of his athleticism. So it's made him like look younger again.
Yeah. That's crazy. So, like, is he going to have to get them put back in? Now I have questions, Q.
Well, I think it was a developmental thing. So it was like they weren't necessary anymore, but they were still there. And he was playing, and he didn't want to have the surgery to remove them.
Probably because it's probably
Right.
painful as hell.
Yeah. That at least that's, I forget where they were talking about this, where I heard this, but so hopefully I'm telling the story right. But I was shocked by it, but also it makes a lot of sense when you think about the season he's had.
Yeah.
So this is it's another one of those fine reps. I don't really love that Garrett gets this shove on him here, but at the end of the day, I'm not nitpicking that. I'm just giving him a fine.
Yeah, I mean, he still does his job by keeping Garrett outside, and that's all he's supposed to do here. It's not his fault that Darnell has a bad rap.
Yeah.
Oh,
I gave a bad on this one. The bads start to rack up in the second half.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, once Garrett realized how to beat him, it was just, I'm Myles Garrett and you're a rookie.
He's insane.
Yeah.
He's just so fast.
Ooh. I like the ability to swing the hips around here. Gets off balance and ends up going down, but I think I just gave him a fine here despite going down. So it was like I just liked seeing him test the waters of how much he can do with that, and I was surprised by how mobile he was able to get how much he was able to swing his hips.
Yeah, I think everything else that he did here is great. Yeah, you don't love that he goes down to a knee, but I think all things considered, like to me, going down to a knee is being more controlled than it is like being tripped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
100%.
So like I won't knock it usually as long as it's like controlled, like you're doing it with control. Here he gets he starts to slip, and that's like him kind of keeping his control to stay locked in.
Right.
So in efforts like that, I think I'm like you said. I think it's still a good rap when it's all said and done. Luther Burton's just crazy.
All right, so that's just another fine. I just gave this one fine. I think he shows a nice anchor here, but it's not. I don't see anything enough where I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good rep. Like he does his job, does it slightly above average maybe, but I don't love the kind of he loses some control in it. He stays controlled for a loss in my mind, which ends up meaning it's fine, but I do think he loses some control.
Yeah, I think he loses a little bit. I think he does a good job fighting, but it's definitely not as controlled as you would hope it would be.
Yeah.
It's not Joe Thuney controlled.
Right. Yeah. Well, who is?
It's true. That guy's different.
Okay, this one. I gave him a good. I gave him a good on this one because I really like the force he gets into this double team. The shove there. I like how his eyes go back to 49. And then he's still able to pick up the stunt that's coming from his right. There's a lot happening on this rep, and I think he handles it beautifully.
Yeah, I like what he does here. He does a good job keeping his head up, feeling it come back, get enough of it, knowing where the play's going.
Right.
Knowing that Caleb's going to throw a ball across his body that's going to magically get to DJ Moore. I like this rep from everybody involved. I think it's a great rep.
Yeah.
Great step.
They do a nice job right there.
I can make any throw. Love me.
Oh, this was this play.
Mm-hmm. This was the play.
Yeah.
This was unbelievable. During this throw cue, someone behind me actively said, "What are you doing as this ball is leaving his hand?" And as soon as it comes out, he comes down with it.
I don't know if I said it. I thought it.
every person within a stone's throw of me, we all looked at each other and went, what the hell just happened?
Oh my God.
This is such a crazy play.
As long as you can make it, there's nothing wrong with throwing it. That's the way I see it.
If it's a good result, we're just gonna keep it moving.
Yeah. I think I gave him a pour on this one. Because I like how it starts, but then I think Garrett just kind of takes his lunch money after on the counter. Which it starts just on the play action, but like once he realizes it's not the play action, he's like, just says, I'm Myles Garrett. He recovers well there, but like it's still disruptive in my mind.
Yeah, it's tough too, because you can make the argument that, if they're able to get a little bit of a better block on 51.
Yeah. Sorry, keep going.
No, I was just gonna say it just doesn't disrupt the screen as much. I think either. Like, I think what he would do here, like that ball would be gone, I think, before he starts to kind of lose Garrett at the end.
Yeah, I forgot this was the screen. I gave him bad on this because he cannot let Garrett get inside there.
That's true.
He completely disrupts that screen. The timing of it is completely thrown off at that point. And because of that, Caleb's stuck holding the ball with this in front of him.
Yeah, you could also make the argument too that DeAndre Swift's got to get out of there clean. That's part of
okay,
what's on the running back. Some teams also like kind of almost scooping guys inside now. I've seen that taught a lot. I don't necessarily agree with it, but
okay,
where they'll just kind of eat them up inside because you almost want it to sell like, oh, it's a bad pass block, and then Swift kind of chips off of them more. This is something that is more typically seen in the NFL now. Okay. The Rams do this a little bit. The Vikings do it a lot.
So you think that's more a pour then?
I'd give it a pour.
Okay.
Not so much a bad. I think there's other elements in this play too that like that screen probably should have been gone already.
Yeah.
If 51's not barreling down on him either. So there's.
Yeah. It's
tough.
Did I knock Dalman here?
Sometimes
I knocked Dalman on this because he's not releasing to go get out in the run fit. He releases and watches, which tells me he lost quicker than he should have.
Agreed. Yeah, I think what Trapilo did there was actually not horrendous. Like at the end, you lose him a little bit. I think if he's just able to kind of absorb him a little bit better initially.
Yeah.
At right about as it's rewinding here, I think if he absorbs them a little bit better just before, like just after here, like right here.
Yeah.
I think if he absorbs them a little bit better. And he does a nice job. I like that he's chopping at the back. He's trying to chop him down. Like I like the process of it, but I agree. I think if he gets a little bit of a cleaner snatch, he gets a better grade.
I think he manages the loss well, but it's still a loss.
Agreed.
It's the way that I see it.
He's a big bully on little DBs.
Yeah, he's going to take your lunch on this one.
He's going to take your lunch money and throw you into the locker and stick your head in the toilet.
Yeah, this one was. I felt good about this one. It's a lot of his goods have come on DBs here, so hopefully
that's okay.
It's fine as long as you're getting the matchup and you're winning it consistently. Like that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, go beat him up.
I just gave him fine here because I thought 5-1 was contained rushing more than anything.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
Cole Kmet doing a respectable job on Myles Garrett. It needs to be appreciated.
Yeah, it's nuts. I think I gave him fine on this one because he gets out there, gets a piece of him. I don't think he really alters the guy's path that much, but he does what he's supposed to do in this play.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll bring it back a little.
Yeah, it's a tough block. I mean, this
Yeah.
plays far enough downfield by now where I'm like, unless you make a superhero block, like
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
I
That's a
gave him
nice
good
block.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a nice block.
I liked what I saw there. I think he cuts it off really nice and gives a cutback lane that didn't get used, but it's fully there.
Yeah, I love the entirety of the process for Trapilo on that play.
Yeah. That
Greased
was
up,
another bad.
deaf guy.
Another bad just because Myles Garrett says, I
Okay.
know how to beat you now, and I'm just going to keep doing it.
Greased up, deaf guy. Yeah, he can't even get his hands on him.
Right. He can't. He's like,
He looks like a little.
might as well be MC Hammer.
When like you know how when you go give like a little kid like one of the little mini carrots, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Ee," and they're reaching out. That's what Trapilo's looking like here. Just
Yeah.
the slight reach out. He's like, I can't reach him. Ah.
Greased up deaf guy.
Greased up deaf guy, man. I'm telling you, he's so much fun to watch play football, man.
He really is. I was so close giving Ozzy a good on this, but then Mason Graham just wiggles out of it. Because I like the process here a lot. He's so close to having it, but then he can't quite close those hips off. And I think that's Mason Graham. Might be someone else. No, it's 5'1". 51 just wriggles out of it and is able to go in there and make the play. Let's see, how many yards did that get?
Well, it's tough too because he's also got Jonah Jackson just strong arming a guy because he's getting blown up upfield. Like
Yeah.
Jonah's just getting eaten up, and he gets kind of cut off there a little bit too.
So when a guy, I was curious about this one as I was watching it. So this guy's the guy on Jonah, right?
Mhm.
He is shooting the gap.
Oh yeah,
right.
Oh yeah.
What is is Jonah still expected to be able to get in front of that guy and move him downfield, or is best protocol just saying if he's shooting the gap, just get him out of there, like Jonah does?
Yeah, I think you're just hoping Jonah's going to do that, but the way I think the Ben Johnson offense works in terms of the run blocking philosophy is you just like everything, your first level is always first. If we can accomplish the first level, we've got 4 yards. If we accomplish the second level, we've got 8 to 10 yards. If we accomplish third level, we're hitting home runs.
Yeah.
So you're okay if like, hey, they get the first level. So it's a tough block to ask Jonah to do because there is that, that hesitation. If that guy gets a really good step up field and he is shooting that gap, it becomes a much tougher block for Jonah. It's just unfortunate. I think what he does there is I'm happy with. He still gets the first level sealed.
Yeah.
They create the hole. It just is unfortunate because then he trips up Trapilo. Again, you pretty much got the 4 yards. You got the first level. So everything after that is complete gravy.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate. But I think Ozzy does a lot of good things there, and he gets caught up a little bit. And you would hope maybe he can stay a little bit stronger inside, but
yeah, I gave him a fine there. I was just when I got through like the first half of the rep, I was like, this is gonna be good. And then it was like, it's not.
Definitely.
It's just a fine
Fine.
play action rep.
Yeah, that's where Cole gets hurt.
Yeah. Took a decent hit there.
Oh, settle, big dog.
I gave Ozzy good on this one, even though Thuney does have something to do with the settling.
I would make the argument that this is.
I think Ozzy had it regardless.
I think you're right. I think Ozzy does have it. The initial pop sucks, but that's the readjustment. That's a really good readjustment by him.
Yeah. So I gave him a good there because I think he shut that down. I'm not sure if Thuney isn't there, maybe the guy gets his inside shoulder on a counter. Yeah. I'm not sure because we can't know that. But like from what I can see on this rep, I was like, okay, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the readjustment. If the readjustment isn't as noticeable, and then Thuney comes in, I think
Yeah.
that's where I would say it's maybe
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, then you're like, okay, well, it's a nice rep from Thuney.
Exactly.
So this one is just a fine run rep, protects the backside there.
Yeah, locked up for a long time too.
Yeah,
Is this is the second Swift touchdown? No.
yeah. Who is it? I think it's Dalman on this one where I was like, yes, he just keeps blocking and keeps blocking and keeps blocking, and it pays off
Yep.
right there. It just
opens up.
opens the sea.
How about Ozzy Trapilo though, handling Myles Garrett to not be able to come back and make that backside play?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a pretty spectacular rep from Ozzy. I really like this rep from Ozzy.
Okay, as I was
Yeah, he ends up taking a piece of Mason Graham as part of his second level blocking here.
Yeah.
And he cuts him off, which
okay, I did give him good here because as I was watching, I was like, there was someone who did something really nice late, and I was thinking it was Dalman who does something nice late, but like I did upgrade this to good for Ozzy because of that back half effort.
Can make the argument. I mean, that's another welcome to the NFL moment, Mason Graham. You just got bullied by a fellow rookie.
Yeah. So we got him cutting down on Graham again.
Oh, that's a hard block to ask from Thuney.
Let's see. What do we have from Thuney here? Oh, yeah. I knocked Thuney on this one, but it's difficult.
That's a tough block.
Yeah, very difficult.
That's a backside. I mean, that's a backside 2-eye almost.
Yeah.
And
I mean, in theory, that's not Thuney's block, right? Like, but because of the way that he steps back, it just has to be his block. Like, in theory, he's helping on it and trying to get up to the backer, right? Based on the pre-snap alignment.
No, I think he's being asked to make that block cue.
Really?
I'm almost wondering if there was a check here that wasn't made. That's a hard block.
It must have been because you don't see Thuney. Like, I knocked Thuney on this just because he barely gets a hand on the guy. And it's like he can get more of a hand on him, but he seems like he's not expecting to have to.
Yeah, I don't know what happens here. I think somebody misses something.
Yeah.
Because it's just also a weird play design. Because you see Cole Kmet come back there and get that guy. The linebacker, 49. I don't know. That's just a weird play design. This is one of those ones, Q, that we've had a few times on these shows. Remember the triple trap the first week?
Yeah.
Yeah. This I'd put right up there with the triple trap of just like there's a lot going on that I don't necessarily agree with, but Ben's gonna bend, and that's kind of how this play feels. And that's a hard block for a left guard.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, because Dalman he's pulling.
Dalman's pulling. Yeah, him and Jackson are pulling.
Oh man.
So that's a hard block. I don't know.
Something got missed. Thuney, I don't know that Thuney makes that block, but he gives a better effort than this. Something got missed, I think.
I also think Thuney's trying to slingshot him here and isn't able to because he doesn't keep crashing.
Yeah.
He kind of stops and goes straight upfield. I think he's trying to set him up for a slingshot block because you only see slingshot like at the top of the top levels. Most people cannot slingshot. Joe Thuney's one of the few guys that can.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to slingshot 92 here just to get a piece, but 92 does a great job just getting away from him before he can set it up.
Yeah, it looks like that right hand. He's just trying to get it around the hip there so he can get that slingshot. I think you're right.
Yeah, and he just misfires.
Okay.
That's a hard block. But again, these guys are pros. You can ask them to make that.
Madison dad seeing the same thing you are, so I think we're on the point there.
Yeah, that's a hard ass block. Ben asks a lot of shit out of his guys, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's going to be, you got to make some professional level blocks in his offense.
All right, so this one from Trapilo is just another fine. Does his job. Ooh, coming in hot on 17. Who is that? Is that DJ?
Looks like Durham Smythe. Nope.
Oh, no, it's Loveland. And you got Darnell just tossing people out the club.
Oh, boy. Alex Wright's going for a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine from Ozzy, though. He does his job. We love when guys do their job.
Okay, Garrett says, let's see how you handle an inside move there, Ozzy. And that is nice.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's a good, strong inside hand.
Oh, what did I do?
Gotta check our actions and commands queue.
Yeah. So this is a good from Ozzy for me. If I were considering the talent he's across from, it would probably be a dominant, but like without considering that, it's just a good.
Yeah, that's really good. I'm still really happy with that play.
Yeah.
That's a sick catch by Loveland.
Yeah, it is.
He's so gross.
He's going to be a star.
They have so many toys.
I gave Ozzy a fine here because the chip helps a lot. It was shaping up to be a potentially good rep, I thought, but because of the chip, I can't make assumptions there, so I just went with a fine.
Yeah, I think that's fair. He does a nice job.
Okay, and then I gave him a good here. I loved his hands on this rep. Because Garrett.
I don't think that's Garrett.
Yeah, no, you're right. I wasn't looking at the number. That's probably right. Or is it a different number? 99. I don't know who 99 is. Either way, I liked the way 99 attacked him here. I think they constructed the block really well, and Ozzy just replicates very cleanly. I gave Ozzy a good right there.
Yeah, that's a nice rep from Ozzy Trapilo. Crazy that ball gets out. Dude.
Now,
chip.
Garrett just eats his lunch again here, though.
Almost held the absolute shit out of Garrett, too.
Yeah. I don't love the chip that widens him more, but I get why you're just trying to take more time. It's just going to take more time for Garrett to get there is the idea there, I think. But I don't like widening him out more against the rookie offensive tackle. And maybe he's not supposed to. Maybe it's hard because it's Myles Garrett to execute it the way
I was
going
to say,
to.
I think in most instances with most DNs in the NFL, you're able to get that, and that's going to actually help your tackle.
Yeah.
It just so happens that Myles Garrett does it. And again, like you said, right, you can't change the grade, but like you also just appreciate the greatness of what that dude was able to do.
Yeah. And this one I just gave a fine. I think he's in good position, but because of the fumble, it's like 49's action starts to change because of the fumble, and it's hard to actually tell what would have happened.
Yeah, what could have been. I'll tell you what could have been. Could have been a really nice play.
Yeah. Oh, there were some blocks that I really liked on this one, so I agree.
That's one Ben's putting up in the team meeting saying, this needs to be better.
No, that's just another fine for Ozzy.
Yep.
Now let's see. I think this is the last play. Ooh. This is a screen pass.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the same screen? I think it is.
Yeah, it looks pretty comparable.
I think I gave him a poor here just because I want to see some cleaner contact and prevention.
Yeah.
It is a screen. I understand you want him to get upfield, and it actually worked out better than the last time they tried to run it because Garrett gets upfield quicker. But
I will say
see him
this.
get more.
I will say this, Q, it's something that I don't have certainty on, but I have hypotheses on,
Okay.
and that is that they in the NFL they are really teaching these guys to take their rushers inside on screens because then those guys aren't in the passing lane. They can't tip the pass or pick it off, right? You're
Yeah.
moving the screen away from those guys, not trying to go behind them. And I think that's why you're seeing that more. So
Okay.
that might be something where, they're like, hey, we want to get a little more contact, but like, nice job just pushing them inside because that's an easy pitch and catch for Caleb.
Yeah.
I think that's how it's being taught because I've seen more than just the Bears do it. So I
Okay.
really think it's an
And
NFL thing where they want to change that throwing angle. Like you're not trying to, it's not high school football where like you could pick on the one DN that's less athletic and you can throw it
right.
over his head. You can't do that in the NFL anymore. These guys are too freakishly athletic on the outside that
Yeah.
you've got to almost change the angle of how the throw's being made.
Okay. I think that makes some sense, especially with how much you're getting guys with funkier who are able to get really funky with the arm angles coming into the NFL now. I mean, it's almost like it's a common trait among like first round picks where it's like something that's widely discussed is their ability to change those arm angles and get really weird with it, almost like bend the football around guys.
Yeah. Absolutely. Just make it or just make an easier throw because if you have them slipping out, instead of having to get way out there or, having to worry about getting that guy on the ground, now you're just like, okay,
Yeah.
push him inside. We're going to pop out right where he used to be and just boop, and you go.
And Ron, I want you to give me just a couple more minutes of your time because I got to find this Jonah Jackson rep. You've got to see it.
The Jonah Jackson rep.
You like, that's it.
That's the one. Yeah, him pulling out in space.
Look at how fast this motherfucker is in a straight line. And that's why I said earlier, it's a very narrow segment that he is like elite at. Straight line speed. A man this big should not run this fast.
He's crazy, man. That's why he's really good at the trap. That's why he's good at that kind of stuff. I wouldn't be shocked if you almost see Ben Johnson, and I'm gonna mark this on timestamp here. Wait for more of these like almost outside screens or outside traps from Ben Johnson because if you've got a weapon like that, like that's kind of an outside trap. You're just changing the trap hole, and it's a longer trap.
Yeah.
They're gonna take advantage of Jonah Jackson's speed like that, man, because that is a hell of a block by a very large man.
He's
just
running
get out
faster
there
than linebackers in that short segment. Like he is moving.
Yeah,
I couldn't. They do it again right here. It's just like, oh my god, this dude in a straight line is different. Now, the second he has to start like bending that line, it's not as fast.
Not as good.
Like that direct straight line, he is insane speed with it.
Yeah. He's quick with it, man. I'm telling you, he that play was really good too. That was one of the plays I remember calling out on Sunday's show because of the second effort from Swift, but that's a hell of a first level block from Jonah.
Yeah.
Full game is crazy. It is crazy. I love what Ben Johnson has this whole line doing. It's some of the goofiest shit ever, but it's cool.
It's beautiful. Let's punch in this grade, see what we come out at.
See what we're cooking with.
Yeah. Let's see how it compares to the one that I had down already.
Okay.
Okay, so we had.
Oh yeah.
Let's make
Ozzy
Trapilo
2.
And I don't need to fill in all the other stuff there. Let's see. So I had 0 dominant plays. I had 8 good. So we gave 3 more goods than I initially did.
Okay.
I had 15 OKs. I had 4 pours versus initial 3 pours.
Okay.
And
2 bads compared to 3 bads?
Nope, 3. I had 3 bads here. right. Yeah, 3. Sorry. I
Are
had a
we
weird
short?
note written down.
Are we short 2 plays?
No. Some screen passes are pass blocks for some guys. They're run blocks for other guys.
No, I know, but from Ozzy's first grade, he had 32 pass block plays. Now he only has 30.
I might have marked some as run
Okay.
blocks this time that were pass blocks last time.
Fair enough.
Honestly,
I've done that before too. In the draft grading queue, I've done that a number of times.
Or you know what? This could be 5 bads. At one point, I was accidentally writing in the run block for pass block, and I wasn't sure how much. It's 5.
Okay.
It's 5 bads that we got there.
So more goods, but more bads.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I had a 55.3 on my initial watch. Now I have a 45.9.
We are meaner.
We know we had 1 penalty too. And so let's see. Oh, I did give him a dominant on my initial watch too. I gave him 1 dominant. But his win rate was a little higher. His loss rate was a little lower on second watch here. Now let's see. For run blocking, 0 dominance. Again, we gave him more goods this time in my initial watch. We gave him 8. I initially gave him 4. We have 20 fines, 3 pours versus 5 pours that I gave him.
Okay.
But 3 bads versus 1 bad that I gave him. And we got 1 more rep in there somehow. But that stuff comes through sometimes, some places. That's why it's a volume game here where we have almost 1,000 reps across the season. 1 or 2 here don't make that big a difference. Run grade, largely the same overall. We got a slightly better one here than we did on my initial watch. But let's see. Much higher win rate than my initial watch, though. Double the win rate of my initial watch. It's interesting. Makes sense with 8 good reps versus 4 good reps. So ultimately, his grades are pretty similar here. 57.8 versus 53.2, 45.9 versus 45.3. That's the bigger jump is in the pass pro. I was a little more, I think I was just a little more generous on my initial watch with some of the Myles Garrett getting wrecked around the corner than I probably should have been, just because I was like, I hate continuing to give guys bads over and over, but it was there. It's Myles Garrett. It happens. So what I'm going to do, I think the one that we do on the show is more accurate than my initial watch. I'm taking more time with it. Typically I'm spending 30 minutes on this. We just spent 1 hour and 45 minutes on it.
Hell yeah.
So I'd say this one is much more accurate and thought out. So I'm going to stick with the grade that we did on the show.
Heck yeah.
And overall, if you're interested in the overall grades for the Bears O-line this week, I can give you a sneak peek right here of how they looked. I'll give you a bit cleaner review too. This is just left tackle to right tackle. It was a middling game for Thuney. Mason Graham gave him some issues. And
speaking of Thuney, really quick, Madison Dad says they need to draft a guard or find a young one for the year 3 of Ben Johnson, because they only have Joe for 1 more. I think they have Joe for 2.
I think they do, but Jonah also has an injury history that I'm not trying to gamble on for multiple years. So.
Oh no, not Jonah.
Oh, Joe Thuney.
I think they're both 3, if I remember correctly. So,
yeah, they gave Thuney an extension right after they signed him.
Yeah,
or right after they traded for him, I should say. We got him for a 4th round pick. Robbery. That is robbery.
That's the beauty of exploiting the Chiefs wanting to keep Trey Smith over Joe Thuney and them paying him a lot and needing to get cap things figured out. That's what that is.
Jonah had a hell of a day as a run blocker. One of the better run block grades I've ever given out.
That's a crazy grade.
he was insane. And that's even with some losses in there. That's how many dominant reps he had in this game. Because I mean,
monster.
He was at he had a lower run survival rate than Drew Dalman, but a higher grade because 15% of his run reps were dominant by my mark.
He just beat the shit out of people.
He was great in this game, man.
1 out of every 6 times.
Yeah, just insane. And here's how Bears O-line has done throughout the season. These are both the same chart. I can just delete this one, actually. So we've seen that left tackle has clearly been the black eye on this unit, but it's a testament to you can always manage one spot pretty much.
Yeah, Jonah's gotten a lot better over the season.
Yes, he has. He's improved significally.
Dalman's gotten better over the season. Darnell's gotten better. They've all gotten better over the season.
The last 5 games might be, and I haven't watched all of Dalman's career, but I'd wager this is the best stretch of Dalman's career. Last 5 games. Yeah. He is playing really good football right now. And here's the total season grades for run versus pass and the win rates. Wright is really interesting because he has as high of a dominant rate as a run blocker as anyone, but the lowest survival rate of any starter other than Trapilo as a run blocker. He's very hit or miss on them.
Yeah. No. He's that kind of player. You're going to get that, unfortunately, with Darnell Wright.
In the run blocking, in the pass blocking, he's pretty consistently excellent.
Agreed. Yeah, he's a piss missile. He fires out, and sometimes he's going to miss. But
yeah,
you'll take the misses with the wins.
That's the best way to describe it. I love that. And right now, Ozzy's actually grading slightly below Theo, but it's all run blocking. Their pass blocking grade is about the same. Yeah. But I think Ozzy's doing it in a much more sustainable way than Theo was.
Agreed wholeheartedly.
And he's getting better each week. His grades probably don't show that he's getting better that much, but you can see in his technique, he's getting better each week. These are his grades have actually gone down slightly, but that's probably mostly because that Pittsburgh game was weird. They didn't really attack him. It was very odd. But you can tell his technique is improving every week, which is huge.
Most definitely.
Ron, any final thoughts after our marathon show here of 2 hours of just Chicago Bears O-line and Ozzy Trapilo assessment? Any thoughts?
I like what Ozzy's doing. I'm excited for the Packers rematch and what that breeds on our O-line show next week. And I think it's going to continue to be fun, Q, and hopefully we get a couple extra games to talk about this year too.
Hopefully, Ron, you mentioned something on the show last week that piqued my interest about doing potentially doing a marathon show where we raise money for charity or something. And that got my brain thinking, if the Bears are in the playoffs, and no promises, this is just a thought right now. The Bears make the playoffs, we should scout the opponent's defensive line for a full game and raise money for a charity some way with that.
That sounds fun.
Just a little different twist, but gives some more just a different twist that can kind of prepare everyone out there for what we're about to see in the playoffs if they make it.
Yeah, wholeheartedly. That could be a lot of fun. We'll have to put some more thought into that.
Yeah. But Ron, why don't we give a good old bear down and we'll get out of here.
Bear down, Q.
Bear down.